We are now live on Facebook. What is happening? My name is Kenya Cook. I'm your host for the Infinite Think. Happy New Year.
And I'm Richard Browntree. Hello all. Thank you so much for joining us in 2019. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Infinite Think. That's INFINITE Think. And I thank you in advance for following us. Our goal is to share information to help, and it's an inspiration to help people transform. And it's also a transformational process for ourselves. And we're sharing our process with you guys. And hopefully that will inspire and spark an interest in you to transform your life to be the greatest version that you can be.
Well said. I couldn't say it a better way. Making a difference in the lives of all those that we spend time with, that's something that's very important. It's key. This is our time to create the narrative that empowers and uplifts other people. And our goal is to constantly evolve and get better and better and become the ultimate and best versions of ourselves. And we hope you join us on this journey to become the best version of you. And that's what this is about. It's about the community and everyone holding each other accountable to becoming better. Well, Richard, it's a new year. It's a new name. We have changed from Infinite Mind, Self, and Live to Infinite Think. Richard, you and I were talking about the name, and we were talking about what I have in my notes here about the name being more action-oriented. Let's talk a little bit more about what you were thinking, if you remember that conversation.
Well, first of all, I thought Infinite Mind and Self, I loved it, but it was long, and everybody was like, "Oh, that's kind of a long name." So you got to make it stick and make it catchy almost. So 3 syllables was perfect. Infinite Think. But most importantly, we want that verb there. Because it's about doing things in life. We're so many times in life we're just a victim of life. We're going through life very casually. But I think in light of all the things that's going on in the world today, I think it's time to start being more aggressive, start being more proactive, and start using these powerful verbs to inspire and transform your life. So that's why we went through the word infinite think.
I love it. That resonates so much. And this is going to be great. What we talk about today, I'm not going to ruin it yet, but I was checking out Limitless this week and actually over the break, and I've seen that you've got a lot of new posts on there. You always have a fresh, positive perspective of life. You want to enlighten us, brother?
Okay, this is, I read this from somebody else that enlightened me, and it's about, New Year's goal is, we're actually the 4th day into the year 2019, and sometimes people have goals, and they say, I'm going to stop smoking, I'm going to stop drinking, but by February 3rd, 2019, a lot of these people are going to fall by the wayside because they're thinking of things in the negative. They're thinking about, I got to stop smoking, I got to stop drinking, but all you're doing is attracting in your life is more smoking, more drinking, more bad food, more junk foods. But instead of just saying what you're not going to do, what you're going to eliminate, start thinking about your intention, your intentions, your aim. What is your aim? What are your intentions? Intentions are powerful. If you just intended, I'm going to be healthier in 2019, things will start organically falling in your life. So you start losing the interest to smoke so much or drink so much or eat some bad food. You start having more interest in working out. And just being more mindful and being less stressful. So, for me, that's what I took away from it, just to be more focused on my intentions in life. And one of my intentions is to have fun with Infinite Think. And that's it. That's one of my greatest intentions this year.
That's dope.
To have fun with Infinite Think.
That's dope. And I think intention is a great segue into our show. With that being said, it hit me, and I want to read something. I read this in the book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and the statement or quote was, in order to change a situation, you have to first change yourself. And in order to effectively change yourself, you have to change your perception. Stephen Covey wrote about us having a paradigm shift in how we see our world. Richard, you're talking about how intention becomes the driver of our language versus what we don't want because of that law of attraction, what comes to us. I would say the next point of that segue into the importance of being proactive. To get into this world right now, or get into this piece of our conversation, I want to talk about this awesome person. I'm getting excited talking about it. One of our fraternity brothers, one of our great fraternity brothers from Oklahoma State University. You know, always been a great guy named EJ, and I always saw he had a spirit of excellence about him. So when he married, I assumed that tradition was going to continue for him, and he married this awesome, excellent person named Diana. Diana, now what's interesting about Diana is that she's half African American, she's half Turkish. You know, Turkey is her fluent first language, and English is the second language. And she's like taking the language, taking the world, taking the culture, and she's converted this into her passion of home decor, organization, and mom tips. I mean, it's just awesome just to welcome, and hopefully I say this right correctly, Merhaba, Diana.
Madhab,
Welcome.
that's perfect.
I said it right?
You said it right. I couldn't have said it better myself.
Merhaba. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. It's truly an honor and a pleasure that you reached out to me. I really, really appreciate it. And I love your podcast. Ever since I've seen it on Facebook, it's just in the community, just in the world, to just talk about these types of problems or situations and kind of find a light and help people have a paradigm shift.
Nice, nice. Richard.
Yeah, yeah. You hit it right on the nail. Having this paradigm shift. You know, we're all response, and able to determine how we react to things that happen in life. And you know, we have Diana Banu, correct? Diana Banu.
Banu.
On the show, and you can watch her on YouTube on her YouTube channel at Love Diana Banu. That's LOVEDIANABANU.
That is awesome. Diana's whole focus is, is home improvement. And we were talking about before the show how just her passion of home decor has kind of inspired me. She was talking about a friend of hers that's inspired that person, to be more conscious of their home. So, Diana, welcome to the show. We're so happy to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Cool. Like I said, Happy New Year and welcome to the Infinite Think, Diana. I've been watching your YouTube channel this morning, and I love it. I just love, what I love most about it is, you don't need a lot of money to do this.
Yeah.
A lot of people think they need to have this beautiful, elaborate, sophisticated home decor. It takes them a lot of money, but you show people that they can do it with just a minimalist approach.
Yeah, definitely. That's really important to me. It's funny you mentioned that because that's one of the main points that I try to always show in my videos and my posts on Instagram is you really don't have to spend a lot of money to have a nice home. I mean, of course, quality is important. You want longevity out of what you buy because, it's an investment, but you can still just create your space and you don't need to follow trends. You don't even need to follow me. I'm just sharing what works for me in hopes that, people are inspired to say, this is going to work for me too, or, hey, I'm inspired by this. Let me try it this way. Because you want that space to be uplifting. You want that to be your sanctuary. You're out in the world battling work, traffic, meetings, whatever, all kinds of problems. You want to be able to come home and have that decharge, de-stress, that opportunity to feel vulnerable and safe. So to me, that's why it's so important to create a nice home.
That is awesome. Now, hopefully those who are watching, and thank you for watching, get a chance to see why they need to go to YouTube and search Love Diana Banu. So hopefully they get that now. That's a nice transition, though, guys. I want to share something with you from Henry David Thoreau. I know of no more encouraging fact than the unquestionable ability of man or woman to elevate his life by conscious endeavor.
Wow. We are able to change our lives by, conscious endeavor, consciously choosing to react in a way that allows us to create more favorable outcomes by being proactive. Yeah, that's powerful. Because, I think so many times we're so caught up in being reactive and letting life happen to us. But at the end of the day, the only thing that we have control of is our reaction to things. And if you really want to be the captain of your ship, in my opinion, you have to be proactive.
Right. So important. Diana, I guess my question to you would be is, what was your push to actually get started?
My push to get started was I wanted to just share with people how to create a nice home and do that through organization and through home decor. Like I mentioned earlier, I think that a lot of people don't realize how important that space is for you because when you come home, like, for example, if things are in disarray, I think it's a reflection of your life. So it's important to have, whatever your definition of organization is or comfortable is, that for you. You should have that space that you can have good energy flow so you can have that positive energy flow and feel good and feel inspired when you come home. I'm not sure if I'm saying it correctly, but
No, I love it. I love it. Richard, I noticed that, not to be all in your space, but I noticed it looks like you had kind of have a minimalist space.
Oh yes, definitely. I'm behind a white wall now. So it's very minimalist. No, yeah. I try to keep my space. I try to keep my space open. And I guess this is like, I mean, this is something I want to share to everybody. My father was a rat pack, and he just never want to throw anything away. And I guess I just that made me so unattracted to keeping things. If I don't use it within, I have a 6 month rule. If I don't use it or don't think I'm going to use it within 6 months, I throw it away. So I try to just only keep things that I need. I like open space, and I just I value space over buying a whole bunch of stuff that I don't really need and whatnot. So yeah.
That's awesome.
So I'm the
You
opposite of my father.
yeah, you say he was a rat pack. And I'm just listening like, no, it's a pack rat, but if you're a rat pack, that's bad.
yeah, I
Something
think
was on sale. Even if he didn't need it, he would just pick it up. I'm like, come on, dude, you don't need this.
yeah,
But he just like, oh, it's on sale.
people
We
to
can,
like
like,
overcrowd their home or in a way hoard items, and it's usually kind of a psychological thing. It's like they're either holding on to their past or they're trying to fill a void within
yeah.
themselves. Crazy. It's really crazy, but having an organized space really is important. Like, it really is. I'm not saying you need to have, like, every single battery in separate compartments unless that's your style, but it really is a reflection of who you are. I think you have issues more than likely maybe moving forward or embracing change.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you're not like a fluid person. Because I know
Well,
my
that's it.
when you
No,
said
that's a
laughed.
No, that's a perfect point because it sounds like lacking this stuff is going to stifle your ability to move forward. The question was, what did you do to push yourself to get started? So I guess, like, how did that work with you just start? I mean, what did you do to take initiative? What was that? Was there one thing? What was the catalyst that just pushed you? Because there's people that's watching this that I want them to be able to, and it's an I want ego thing, but I want them to be able to glean something from your story, and then they can apply it to whatever can be transformative for their life story. So what was that thing? What got you going? What sparked it?
I It's so hard to answer that question because it's so many parts, but I'm going to try
A
to.
series of things. It's a series of things.
Okay, so I'm the kind of person that when I put my mind to something, I research it and I weigh my pros and cons. And this was one of those things that I realized I was watching other YouTubers and I was inspired. And I know people in my life who come into my home or meet me will tell me like, "Oh, this is so nice. This is this," and they're so surprised when I'm like, "Oh, that's from here for $2. That's from Goodwill for 50 cents," and they're like, "Whoa!" So I just figured, let's do it. Let's just get on here. What's the worst thing that can happen? I mean, truth be told, if I can just inspire one other person to feel good about themselves or feel comfortable with themselves or go ahead and take that leap of making some change in their home or in their life, then that's all I'm happy. That's really the thing for me. I just wanted to just go out there and do it. I felt like I had nothing to lose and so much to gain, especially just having opportunities like this. This is amazing. And all the people that I've met through my community of other moms and the comments that people will write to encourage each other. I love that. I love to have that positive atmosphere, that space for people to come, feel good, feel motivated, smile, and then leave. I don't ever want to have like any type of negativity or, I don't want that on my channel. I want everything to stay good. I want you to feel good when you come here.
So you began to define I don't want to say your space, but you began to define what was important to you. You began to set your values, create your theme for your life. Set, it sounds, you drew the line in the sand, like this is what Diana needs to be her best, to be happy.
Yeah, definitely.
So
Definitely.
people, you got to declare it then.
Yeah, yes, you do. Yes, you do. That's true.
Richard, would that be accurate that a person has to declare it, or is it a cooler hippy dippy way to say it?
I guess the declare is good. You know what I do. I write on my vision board. So
Elaborate on your vision board. What do you do?
I have two things I write. I do a journal writing. And one of my journal writing exercises that I do is called orders from the captain. So you have a conscious mind and a subconscious mind, and so a lot of times the subconscious mind rules us, so we don't even know it. But sometimes you just got to give direct orders from your conscious mind. And so I write every morning what I want what I want. Like today, one of my things is I put like Kenya and I are building one of the premier video casts about conscious living and conscious inspiration. So that's one of the things I put in my journal. So
I felt the energy.
Yeah, yes.
We speak it in the present.
Write it down. Because they say when you write things down and actually you write it in cursive, it's more ingrained in your consciousness. I don't know if that's a little hippy dippy for you guys, but
no.
There's actually a little bit of scientific proof that proves that there is a much more psychological triggering mechanism when you actually write things down in cursive. This has been proven with clinical studies.
Wow. Well, and I believe that, and I think that's a great transition point to summarize it up, is that creating a space in your home or wherever you dwell at the most, writing it down, whatever it is, that thing you want to bring into your life, being conscious of what your standards are, how you want things to be, are all important parts of being proactive and beginning your process to take your next steps. Now, hopefully, and I'm gonna say it right now, as Richard said, somebody got that one. That got to somebody who's watching this, and they now say, hey, you know what, Diana, Richard, and Kenya just shared something with me that I'm gonna apply. So what I'm telling you right now is go out there and get started, whatever that thing is.
Yeah.
So
your home is your foundation. So that's the way. That's what you want to build up. Your foundation. That's your space that you're in. At least 8 hours a day for sleep, if nothing else. So make that. But whatever that is for you, make that work for you so you can get started, create your vision boards. I think that is so excellent when people make vision boards, because it's just there. It's in your face when you feel discouraged or down or whatever. You can see that and you can get, re-motivated and remember why you're doing what you're doing, because it can get hard some days. It definitely can get hard. In anything you pursue, it will get hard.
Oh yeah. And some days, is I would say most days, and I think that's why it's important. You have to, for me, I think it's important that you have to know why you're doing what you're doing and accept the journey. I did not pledge to fraternity thinking I was just going to sign my name on a piece of paper, go off for a weekend, and then come back and say, hey, I'm one of you guys. I knew there was going to be trials, tribulations. So I think as we vision quest, we start looking at these tools, the vision board, putting it right in front of you so that when those days come that you forget why you're doing it or you think it's not worth it, you remember where you're going to and why it's important, which is a great transition. Now, somebody out there is watching this that's saying, yeah, but. There's always that yeah, but person, and they're valid in their thinking from the standpoint that's where they're at today. But we want to elevate people, enlighten them. So what were some obstacles, Diana, that you had to overcome for you to really either get the ball rolling or recognize the ball was rolling and you might as well push it faster?
My biggest obstacle is that I'm really shy. Yeah, I know I'm on here, but I'm really shy. I am such an introvert. And growing up, Turkish and African American, and growing up in Turkey and then coming here, I just always was so confused and with my identity sometimes, and I needed to do this because I'm at my point in my life where I'm like, hey, this is who I am. I am confident in myself. I'm comfortable in myself. I don't care if I'm tall, I'm short, I'm fat, I'm skinny, whatever, like all these labels that society tries to define and break people down with, it doesn't affect me anymore. And the main person to thank for that, is my husband. I really could not have done it without him. He instills so much faith in me. He inspires me so much every day with all that he juggles. And just him making me feel so good about myself was what made it so easy to start it. That's like when you say, what was the push, going back to the first question, it was just something I was like, you know what, I'm going to do it. Because thanks to the help that I've had and the life lessons that I've learned, I just feel like I can do this. I'm confident in myself. No matter what life throws at me, I'm okay with it. Because social media can be a mess sometimes. People, a lot of Twitter fingers, that want to, break people down. And I just open my heart up to them. And I'm like, I'm going to pray for the broken in you that thinks there's a broken in me. It's fine. I know that it's nothing.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on. You just said something. Say that again.
I'm going to
pray for the
brokenness in you that thinks there's a brokenness in me. When someone like posts something negative, I don't really have too many posts, I'll be honest, but I do see a lot of that on other people's channels. So it's just, you have to learn that it's nothing to take personal. And that was the push for me when I felt like, you know what? Own it. You're good. You say you're good. Let's see. Are you really good? Are you comfortable with who you are? So here I am. I am comfortable with who I am, even though I'm still nervous and shy going live.
That's dope. That's dope. Richard, did you have any challenges, or what were some of your obstacles?
Well,
and how did you overcome them?
Well, just like I'm also a little bit shy too, because being biracial myself, African American and Filipino, and growing up in Inkster, Michigan, not too far from Southfield, Michigan, the brothers and sisters used to tease me a lot, especially when I had the afro, straight like James Brown looking hair with the homemade clothes from my father and mother. So, I was definitely teased a lot. So that definitely made me a little bit insecure in that sense, and I became an introvert. But I think most obstacles are internal obstacles. And I think just having that solid like first internal foundation by like having some type of a meditative or spiritual practice, and most importantly having that support network. Like her husband was very supportive for her. So husbands, wives, friends, families, all the people that in my life that were my inspiration and my support to help uplift me when I let my own self-imposed obstacles stop me. So that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was throw mine in there just in the whole category of just self-image. Not seeing myself as being able to, being worthy of, whatever. But I just say it was self-image, and it wasn't until as we started out earlier, shifting my paradigm, my perspective. I used to call myself, I started calling myself man of action, and I wanted to embody action, being proactive and saying, hey, I'm not going to let life act on me. I'm going to act upon it and just push myself out there. And it looks weird. It feels weird, but at the end of the day, I think for anybody that's trying to do something, you got to understand that your obstacle is really, I believe, is how you see yourself.
Yeah.
Because I've seen people with no legs in the gym getting it. And I'm like, now, wait a minute. I got legs. I feel bad. I ain't gonna lie. I said, I feel real bad. I said, I'd rather be a black Filipino dude from Inkster. hey, Diana, don't let Richard fool you, though, because by the time he got to college, the girls start calling him exotic.
No. that was that whole paradigm shift in our conscience. When I was young, you was looked upon almost as a if you were biracial. Then by the time the mid '90s, the late '90s rolled around, like, oh, you exotic. You look like I'll be sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the paradigm shift, definitely.
Like you said, you just had insecurities, and I'm sure even when you started getting complimented, that didn't all of a sudden make you feel confident. You have to be confident in yourself, because despite all the compliments my husband gives me or support he gives me, it's in me. Like, I am not someone that's motivated by an attaboy. Like, I have to feel it in myself. And then at that point, nothing can stop me. You know what I mean? I think that you have to really have a strong sense of self when you are just in life. Doesn't even matter what you're doing. Even at work, you have to know who you are, what you'll tolerate, your space, the respect that you expect from people, your goals, so that you can never be swayed off of the path. Because life, no matter how proactive you are, it's still going to throw curveballs. But you can still be proactive in responding to them. As long as you're mentally prepared, like, hey, something's going to happen and it's okay. I'm going to handle it when it does.
Yep.
And I think that's setting reasonable expectations with yourself. This desire to believe that things are going to be perfect. Great point. People, I didn't get started on certain projects because the conditions weren't perfect. If everything just didn't line up and I knew exactly what was going to happen when I turned that corner, I'm not going to get started till I know that. But what I had to find out for myself is that it doesn't matter. Guess what? You are going to fail. Guess what? You're not as bad as they say you are, and you're not as good as you ever think that you really are. But if you take these steps consistently, you're going to learn what you need to do to whatever knocks you down. You'll bounce back up. So the expectations changed up, the paradigm shifted, so therefore the experience for me changed up. It was like, yeah, they're going to kick your butt tonight. There's a whole bunch of guys from out of town, and they're drunk, and they got paddles. All right, well, that's what we're doing tonight then. I just start to find around in my life that there's a lot of ways to learn. Life will always teach you. Do what they say, Richard, the teacher shows up when the student is ready to learn, and you can start learning from anywhere.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. This is my opinion. What matters really most in life, they did this big Harvard study they've been doing for years, and they interview these people throughout their whole life. And the people that have the most regrets at life are the people that didn't go for it, didn't just do it. Even if you fell flat on your butt, you cheat yourself out of a life experience if you don't go for the things that you really want in life, and just really be proactive about these things. And so I think that's the most important thing. Getting millions or not, if it's meant to be, that'll be. But you would cheat your spirit.
Yeah.
You cheat your your existence on this planet if you don't go for it, if you don't be proactive for the things that you really want in life. And that's just my opinion.
That is so true. That is so true.
That is true. Because I don't know about you guys, but for me, one of my passions is cooking. And I really do not feel my best if I'm not cooking at some point in the course of a week. And I had to really just realize that that's okay. It's all right. That's just how you are. That's why you're grumpy if you're not doing something you're passionate about. So to Richard's point is that I think some people are mad and upset because they're this round hole or round circle in a square peg, not realizing it because they're trying to meet expectations of others.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What obstacles are stopping us that we're not even aware of? Anything hippy dippy for that, Richard?
Like I said, they're all to me, they're all self-imposed obstacles.
Yeah.
If you really just start getting through the blocks within, that I'm not good enough, that I'm too biracial, that I'm too old, that I'm too not smart enough, once you get rid of those obstacles, the other obstacles don't even really seem like they're not even obstacles anymore. So to me, I think you just fight the war within, and the war outside it'd be a walk through the park. So is that hippy dippy enough for you?
I think that is. So we got to say it 7 ways to Sunday because somebody's going to resonate differently with it. And whatever's going to break you out of that self-imposed prison. I'm constantly reevaluating myself. Many of the things, I was thinking about the vision for our show. And one of the things that I thought was important was people understand that anybody that knows me knows I am not perfect. This experience with spending time with Richard, spending time with Diana, spending time with all the guests that we've had and the people that view, spending time through the comments, it's helping me really look at evaluate everything that's going on because I've heard people say it in the church, they've said it prophetically, but you always hear, this is the season for you to whatever it may be. But I really feel as though that, hey, you know what? I was in Detroit and people were telling me a dream that they had something they want to do. And I'm like, hey, you know what? This is the time to do it. Because really and truly, it's starting to become real that you are not on this earth forever. If you're going to be here, choose to be happy. Choose to be the best version of yourself. And I believe ultimately that for me, that starts with choosing to connect with your creator so that you can understand how important you are in the great plan of things. You are important. And I think that when we know these kind of things, we become aware of this. This is when we get the mojo, the energy, the passion, or whatever that's needed, the moxie, to make the change that we need to in our life so that we can overcome whatever first step that we have, whatever first step it may be. Now, Richard, I don't know how much time you guys have here, but I'm still good. I kind of want to throw a little marker out there until we before we go into question number 3. Is everybody still good with their time?
Yeah, perfect. Yes.
All right, we'll edit this part out.
Okay.
Well, Diana, I sent you, when we spoke last night, Richard, and it was interesting because Diana was really sharing how nervous she was and shy and whatnot. And I was like, okay, this is going to be good. This is fun. You know, I explained to her we kept the show live because we like the energy behind it. So although I prepped you with told you it'd be 3 questions, we've already had basically 2 questions. Richard has the 3rd question. The third question is the fun question.
Okay.
So, Richard, Diana just gave us a drum roll. I'll echo it. It's on you, my brother.
Okay, my question is this. It's not, don't worry about it. I'm not going to throw you off too much. But, for me, the most important thing is, we can have all these, like, great mindset tricks and all that stuff and whatever. But it all comes down to your daily routine, your daily habit. Please take us through your daily habit, your daily routine, and especially in particular, or with your YouTube channel and in your product.
Okay. I have really long days, but okay. Do you really want like a 1-by-1 of my day?
You can give us the concise version. You can give us the intermediate version. Or you can give us the long version.
Okay. So I wake up at 4, and in the mornings I will maybe work out or I will just relax. It just depends on how the day before was. And I like to do that so I can wake up before my daughter. And I like to go ahead and take that time to, get myself together. Because as a mom and a stay-at-home mom, I'm home with her all day. My husband doesn't get home till 10 o'clock because he's in law school. So if I'm not ready, I can't be the best for her. So that's the most important thing. And then when she wakes up, we kind of get through our day. We have errands that we run. And then during her, depending on what we're doing, because a lot of times I like to teach her a lot of things. So I believe in spending time with her and having a lot of one-on-one with her because that's how she learns better because she gets really distracted like I do. When she takes a nap, that's kind of, again, a block for me. And since that's quiet time, that's when I will do some studying. I'm studying for the LSAT. I'm trying to go to law school in the fall myself. My husband and I want to open up our own law firm, but we're going to be in 2 totally different fields. And when she wakes up, then I will, cook dinner, do whatever I'm going to do. And then usually in the evenings, when she's calmer, is when I'll edit. And editing takes me, depending on the video, if it's like a cleaning video, I usually have about 8 to 10 hours of footage to get through second by second. So it usually takes me about 4 to 5 hours. And I just do like an hour or 2. It just depends. And then by the time my husband comes home, I'll kind of finish up everything. But every night I make a plan for the following day, whether that means I'm going to film, or that means whatever I'm going to do. Because normally I've planned weeks out anyway. So when I leave room for error, just in case, she's sick or something is going on, so that I don't feel, because I know myself, if I can't stick to whatever my hard schedule is, I get just stressed out. And to keep myself from doing that, I give a window. Like somewhere this week, this is going to get recorded. And then when that week is coming up, then I'll pick like a day or 2. Like either Monday or Tuesday, we'll film this or we'll film that. And then it's a lot of late nights and editing and trying to get things done in advance. Like being proactive, like the whole point of this. That's what I try my best to do because I don't like to miss out on sleep because it affects who I am, and it's just nothing is like worth not giving my child the best of me. That's my number 1 priority over everything. I always want to be extremely present no matter what I'm pursuing because I want her to, have that good childhood, have that bond with me and then with her dad when he gets home. So I like to have everything done. So when he's home, it's just family time. It's just memories, whatever we're doing, even if it's just Netflix and chill. We do that quite a bit because we're so tired. But that's kind of my day. It's nothing like spectacular,
No.
I just make sure I have time to like reflect and pray and work out depending on what's happening that morning. If I'm going to the gym in the afternoon, then I don't work out in the morning. That's when I'll just kind of meditate, if anything. I don't really have any like special ritual I just sit still. I love silence. I love to sit still and enjoy quiet. It allows me to hear just the earth. And I don't. It sounds so weird, I'm sure, but I appreciate quiet. I just that way. I don't know. I've always been. I hope that
You
wasn't.
so hate the East Coast.
I have another
You would
question.
hate the
I guess
East Coast.
this is a fourth question, I guess.
Okay.
How did you build your YouTube following so well?
How did I grow it? Gosh.
Yeah, how
Okay.
did you grow it? Yes.
Um. Okay. So to me, it's really important to have relationships with everyone, and I respond to all of my comments. I respond to everyone. If they message me, email me, I respond. If anything, I just believe in that interaction, that relationship, because if I don't know you, then how can I do anything for you? Because at the end of the day, I am providing a service. My service to you is motivation. My service to you is inspiration. So if I don't know my audience outside of what the algorithm shows me, then I'm just stuff out there for myself, and that's not good enough, because you want to build a family and a foundation and a community with everyone. If you were to have a business that you're running as a CEO, the most important thing is your employees. It's not your revenue. It's not your sales. It's not any of that, because when times get hard, if you have that family atmosphere and you've treated your employees well, guess what happens? They're not going to quit. You don't have a high turnover rate. That's money you're spending to retrain people, and they're going to want to come to work on days that are hard for them, because they respect your vision. They share that vision with you, and they may even still come to work if, you can't pay anybody because you have some type of shutdown. So
Because we're not building a wall or something. No, just joking.
I don't know. So much building.
Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, I agree with you. And that's, as I'm building my platforms, I think they interacting with people in a genuine way. It's not something like I'm interacting with you because of the fact that I have an ulterior motive, like I want you to like my page, subscribe, but it's because I'm genuinely concerned about that person that's on the other side of that message, and really, and just, for me, I think, this whole process is like, sometimes I'm so competitive. There's sometimes I lose sight of just being happy and having fun with it, So,
Something to that, because I'm competitive. Mm-hmm. When it comes to social media or anything like this, just because someone is has higher numbers and bigger followers and stuff like that, mm-hmm. It doesn't mean that they're better. It does not mean that they're better, because the way social media works is it's this algorithmic brain behind the scenes. So. And it's not that they're bad. I'm just saying, don't feel like, because I had to tell myself this, don't feel like because you're not where someone else is or someone grew faster than you that, you're doing something wrong. I feel like if you're being genuine with who you are, you're confident, comfortable with who you are, and you're happy with what you're doing, your audience is going to come. It may take you a little longer, but honey, yours may sustain longer too. So you just timing, trust what's happening, and just enjoy the ride, because it's bumpy, Don't feel like because someone else is doing better than you. No, there's so many things that go on behind the scenes. I don't even concern myself with other people's business anymore. Like, hey, I'm happy for you. Everyone can win. There is enough room at this table for everyone. Fine.
I like that. Everyone can win.
Yeah, definitely.
That definitely is important. We're talking about your paradigm shift, is having the mindset of people can win. That's going to be one of our episodes in the next couple of weeks, Diana. We're going to be talking about win-win situations, and understanding that when you go into whatever's out there for you, it's there for you. It's not a competition with anyone else, and it's not like it's going to get messed up and it gets delivered to the wrong house. Your blessing, your anointing, your opportunity, whatever's meant for you, it knows where you're at, when you're going to be there. All you have to do is make sure you're going to be there. And that starts with kicking it in gear, getting it started, picking something that you love, do it to the best of your ability, learn whatever you can learn about it, get started, go out there, get better. Richard and I, we have our little, and Richard, I was going to tell you that I was going to start calling them our tag meetings. Because we'll call each other, we play phone tag a little bit, and it's kind of like tag, I got it. So we'll finally get on the phone, But it's always a good time to kind of see, hey, what can we do better? Are we on the same page? What direction we want to go in? And the conversations are quick, but it keeps things moving. And the whole point is that you can get better as you go, but you can only do that if you get started. And that's why it's so important to be proactive. That's what we're talking about, being proactive.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I would say that we're rounding up at about 45 minutes. This has been an awesome time visiting with you, Diane. I'm so happy that you came. Richard and I always are blessed by our guests because we, find out there's other hokey dokey pokey people out there too. In addition to that, there's some awesome people that inspire us to keep doing what we're doing, and that is highlighting and letting you guys know we think that you're awesome, and we hope that you continue on your path of success.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And thanks again, you guys, for having me on your podcast. It's been so much fun, such a pleasure. Sorry for being long-winded. This is why I have my own YouTube channel, so I can just ramble, and they're like, okay, here she goes. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Closing words, Richard?
Yeah, always everybody be limitless. That's it. And being limitless is always a state of mind, and not even beyond a state of mind with your thoughts, but also with your heart too. Opening up our hearts is very important, and especially in the state that we are in the world. Start seeing compassion for other people, compassion for ourselves, and then we can be more proactive and start going for the things that we really want in life and start helping others out in life. And that's it.
That's it, yeah.
Amen. 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 Well, hey guys, we're going to be back on Friday, January 18th at 2 p.m. We're going to be talking with David Greenwood, Executive Director of the Detroit Police Athletic League. Excuse me, I'm saying that wrong. Excuse me, David, I'm sorry. But David Greenwood will be with us where we're going to be discussing the end game, beginning with the end in mind. You've talked about being proactive. We've talked about overcoming your obstacles. We talked about your self-image. We've talked about a lot of things. But next time around, we want to talk about where is it that you want to go and let that become the fire up underneath you so you'll go out there and make the change you need to make so that you can infinitely think about your great success because you are limitless. Hey, that's pretty good, Richard. I kind of threw your plug in there.
That's good. Being limitless, yes. Yeah. Yeah, so like you said, all things start with the end game. All things are actually created twice. First the mental creation, then the physical creation. This is a technique that the elite chess players use. They see the game before the game is actually played. So they see the end result before it's played. So I think that goes back to our visualization and all that stuff. Having that end game in mind is very important. So that's it. We look forward to hearing from David Greenwood. I'm sure he'll drop some knowledge for us.
It's going to be great. So This is Kenya Cook and Mr. Richard Roundtree, our awesome guest, Miss Diana Banu, signing out. Thank you guys for your time this afternoon. Take care.
Bye, guys.